Hi everyone, we're here in Walnut Creek, California, and we're sitting with someone that doesn't really need an introduction. We're here with JC Gonzalez. JC, good to see you.
How the tables have turned.
Yes,
I used to be introducing you.
Yeah.
exactly.
Welcome. Nice to see you.
Thank you for having us, and we're so privileged to have you on today.
Are you kidding me? It's gone full circle. You were the guys that made us living here possible. You closed the deal on this house. You were our realtor back in 2012 when we were lost and we didn't know what we were doing, and we made an offer, and here we are 10 years later.
Well, we're happy and we're going to share that story, thank goodness, but we want to thank you because you were our host on Get Real on Adobo Nation.
Favorite
over
host
10 years,
ever.
and you brought out the best in us.
Yeah.
Right?
Seriously.
You got this technique, it's journalism,
Yeah.
right? Because, you know, most people maybe have a script. We really didn't, right? And you could, in the matter of 20 minutes, come up with a game plan, and that really was a great way to share information.
With the complexity of our topic every Sunday in Adobo Nation, you made our life so easy because of all the questions that you're throwing at us that is off the script.
Great. Well,
So
now
it's
that,
amazing.
Now that you guys are the hosts, you go off script and you throw your guests, on a tangent.
And so now we've known you and Tracy for well over a decade,
Yes.
and we've seen all these things happen, right?
The kids are grown up, Robert.
Kids are
Oh my
grown. I
gosh,
mean, I
they're
can't believe
good-looking
how
kids,
tall
yeah.
your son is,
Yeah.
right? And so it's for us. We know, right? But it's a great story. Tracy's been so nice to accept and be on one of our segments called Making It, and that is about people who start businesses. You know, from the very beginning and what they did and their inspiration and how they succeeded. And now we call, they're at a point where you can truly say they're making it.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah,
Tracy's one of those.
Yeah, because keeping it real is all about inspiration, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how can you inspire people based on your success stories? And you guys have a very good success stories to share, and your wife too, Tracy.
No, hers is particularly successful because I remember when we first moved here in 2005. I mean, back when you're new here, you just take whatever job you can. I mean, she was waiting tables for a while. She was doing odd jobs. She was even selling, like, there was one time, like a weekend fair. She was selling, like, handmade, like, knickknacks, like, just weird stuff that it wasn't really what she wanted to do, but that's the only job available at the time.
Wow.
So, yeah, she'd be great for that segment.
So JC, now with Adobo Nation no longer airing, we don't get to see you as much anymore, and we're sad about that. But today we're happy to be here.
Hey,
and we're happy to share your story.
Do you believe in, like, reincarnation? this is what this is, It's our old segment Get Real is now this in a newer life. And it's amazing that you guys are finding all these people to feature because, we can connect.
It's Get Real.
When we get real, yeah. We have the same issues.
And thank you for coming on and sharing your story. We appreciate that. Yeah. And so if you want to see JC and Tracy's story, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Once you short sell, your credit, as you know, takes a bad hit. And if we short sold first, it'll be harder for us to find a new house.
Save up to 50% on your electric bill with Sunrun. Use the QR code on your screen to ask about no upfront cost solar. or text the keyword Rob and Ning to 888-807-1119.
Bagong kasal, bagong buhay, bagong bahay. Nakabili sina JC at Tracy ng isang condo sa San Francisco. Pero di nagtagal, pinoproblema na ng mag-asawa ito.
2008, we got married. We bought our first home. The down payment requirement, based on the type of loan we got, was very doable. And when I say very doable, I mean it was under $20,000. Today, that's unthinkable, right? But back then, it seemed doable kasi kaya yung down payment, we can make the monthly work, and that was the extent of our decision-making process. The issue was the rate was going to go up eventually in the years to come, but again, we weren't thinking that far ahead, so we thought we were fine until we weren't.
Nakadagdag pa sa problema ang pagbagsak ng halaga ng kanilang tirahan.
So we bought our condo in 2008. That was right before the recession hit. And you remember 2008, 9, 10, all the home values tanked. Yung value ng bahay namin mas mababa kesa sa mortgage na binabayaran namin monthly. And the numbers started to not make sense anymore. And by the time 2012 rolled around, we already had 2 kids. One was an infant, and a 2-bedroom apartment just wasn't doing it for us. That, coupled with the fact that home values were tanking, our mortgage was about to go up, it was not a good situation.
Buti na lang, abot kamay lang kay JC ang tulong na hinahanap niya.
I was very fortunate that Adobe Nation was still around and we had a real estate segment. I was lucky that Rob and Ning were there to kind of give us some options. And as we talked about further, we realized, we really need the help of a realtor to get us out of this, because we're not going to get out of this on our own. Like back then, I didn't even really know that short selling was an option for us. But then they explained to us why we had to do it, and it made sense. It was painful, but it's what had to be done. So selling your house and buying a new house at the same time is a tricky situation, right? Oh, it was very important for us to seal the deal with the new house before we short sold our old property, because once you short sell, your credit, as you know, takes a bad hit. And if we short sold first, it'll be harder for us to find a new house. So Rob and Ning advised us that is how the timetable should work.
May nahanap silang bahay na malapit lang sa pinagtatrabahuan. Abot kaya ang halaga at may sapat na espasyo para sa kanilang lumalaking pamilya.
Luckily, we were able to find a property we like. Rob and Ning helped us with different listings. We made 6 or 7 offers. All of them were denied. After you are denied your 6th, 7th offer, you sort of lose hope, right? You get a little demoralized. Will I ever find that home? When we found this one, I remember we made an offer on a Saturday. This was the Saturday after the open house. And Rob said, when we make this offer, let's put a midnight deadline on it. I was like, why would you do that? That sounds weird. And he said, because they didn't get an offer the week before when they had an open house and no offers came in. And of course, this is 2012, so the market was not as crazy as it is today. But Rob saw that there was some leverage we could use because they didn't get offers the first time around. So the second weekend that came around, he said, okay, here's your offer. If you don't accept this by midnight, the deal's off. And I remember just saying, okay, I trust that you know what you're doing. And lo and behold, Sunday morning, they get back to us and say the offer's accepted.
Ngayong nakabili na sila ng lilipatang bahay, kailangan namang dispatchahin ng condo sa San Francisco.
It wasn't all like happy times, right? There's going to be some stress when you go through a process like this. And the biggest stress for us was having 2 mortgages and thinking potentially how long will these two mortgages last, because it's all contingent about finding a new house and closing the short sale. So we were hesitant to do the short sale very hesitant because we would lose money. Like, who wants to lose money? And why will I sell this for less than what I paid for? So short selling actually made me a little frustrated that, wow, I have to take a hit. But it was what was necessary to be able to offload the property sooner.
We have been doing like Adobo Nation for like 4 years. JC's our host.
Yes.
Obviously, during that time were very difficult times with short sales and stuff like that. And a lot of our business was short sales, right?
Right.
And so JC had been hosting for about 4 years and never, you know, came up and talked to us about his own personal situation, right?
Well, so during that time, meron silang dalawang loan sa kanilang property sa San Francisco. And hindi nila yun ni-refinance. So, you know, we figured, oh, okay, that's good. That's a non-recourse loan. And doon sa loan nila mismo, if I remember it right, it's only fixed for 10 years. Yung
Right.
kanilang interest rate is fixed for 10 years. And then after that, ang mangyayari noon is tataas ang kanilang payment. O, ang naiisip nila during that time is, wait a minute, bumagsak na yung value ng property namin and then tataas yung payment. Parang baliktad yata iyon. Kaya sabi nila, well, you know, maybe this is the time to do something, to figure out what they need to do. Plus, yun nga, lumalaki yung kanilang family. They have 2 kids, you know, during that time as well.
Well, not a real easy solution,
Yeah.
right? And quite honestly, you know, we had to figure out where they wanted to move to as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
Needed to be near BART, which is the subway system here.
Right, because they both work in the city,
Yeah.
right? And they live in the city. Kaya, yun yung inaano natin, Robert, yun yung pinapaliwanag natin palagi sa client na, you know, mahalaga na pinag-uusapan kung ano yung meron sila at kung ano yung kanilang goal para makita natin yung buong picture even before you start planning. Parang everything came together so quickly and, you know, that's when, nung parang okay sila sa plano, that's when we started the process.
And they followed and they took steps and they actually executed the plan.
During that time, nung 2008, right, ang mga tao parang sinasabi nila, you know, we can stay in our house kahit underwater kasi babalik din naman ng presyo niyan. And so, we might as well just stay. Sa case nila JC and Tracy, oh my goodness, you know, would you imagine during that time na kung nag-stick sila doon, maybe the value went up because it's San Francisco, right? Pero hindi nila na-enjoy yung luxury living dito sa Bay Area, dito sa Walnut Creek area, kasi they have more space and they have a nice backyard and you know, very close to everything and paying basically the same doon sa bahay nila sa San Francisco.
From hindsight, right? We call that the armchair quarterback, right? You can see the past now. They made a great decision.
Right.
I mean, this
Yeah.
house is beautiful.
I'm so excited also with Tracy on how, you know, yung transformation ng kanyang, you know, being a mom and also an entrepreneur changed noong mapunta siya dito sa Walnut Creek area.
Yeah, and 10 years goes by pretty quick.
Yeah.
But it's also fun to see how a decision made
Yes,
10 years ago
from that decision.
blossoms into what we're seeing right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you to Rob and Ning. Very fortunate that I met you through Adobo Nation. If that did not happen, I wouldn't have known who to call. But whether it's Rob and Ning or any realtor, it's really important that you work with somebody who knows what they're doing and someone who has your best interest at heart, because, you know, I know real estate is it's a business, right? You know, you buy, you sell, but there's a lot of, you know, real life, real world people that get affected by that. And so make sure that the realtor you're working with is somebody you know and you have a good relationship with, because those decisions are, you know, life-changing.
Malamang narinig ninyong nabanggit ko kanina na sina JC at Tracy ay nagkaroon ng non-recourse loan dun sa kanilang condo sa San Francisco. Ano ba yung non-recourse loan? Recourse or non-recourse loans are legal terms na ginagamit ng mga lenders to determine if they have the right to pursue the homeowners in case the borrowers can't pay them back in full when the loan is due. Kapag nag-a-apply tayo ng loan to buy real estate, yung bahay ang nagsisilbing collateral natin sa lender. Ibig sabihin, kung hindi tayo makakabayad sa utang, posibleng mawala sa atin ang bahay. Dito papasok ang importansya ng salitang recourse or non-recourse loan. Depende kung saan state naroroon ang property, kapag ito ay nasa recourse state at ang collateral ay hindi sapat na pambayad sa utang, pwede tayong idemanda ng ating lender to use our other assets to get full payment. Pero kapag nasa non-recourse state tayo, ang lender can only take kung ano ang collateral kahit kulang ang halaga nito sa pambayad ng utang. Pero teka, yung mga homeowners na nakatira sa non-recourse state, don't get too excited yet. Mahalaga na malaman din natin na ang non-recourse loan pwedeng maging recourse if we refinance the property. Especially kung nagkaroon tayo ng second loan dahil sa refinancing. Kung natatandaan ninyo, maraming homeowners na may second loan ang hinabol ng kanilang lenders nung bumagsak ang real estate market back in 2008. So, importante ba na alam natin ang tungkol sa recourse at non-recourse loan? Of course! Hanggang sa susunod po!
You still need a lot of grit and determination. And if I can say that.
Use the QR code on your screen to ask about no upfront cost solar. Or text the keyword Rob and Ning to 888-807-1119.
Hi, I'm Tracy, and I'm the owner of 7 Tutu School locations. So Tutu School is a franchise that started in San Francisco, and it's basically a collection of boutique ballet studios for young children, ages 18 months to 8. So we only do one thing, which is ballet in the most whimsical atmosphere and environment ever for these young kids. And we do it just for that one age group. So we do one thing, and we try to do it well. Before Tutu School, I was working in the city for 11 years as a recruiter and headhunter for healthcare, which is completely different. It was a good job. I was good at it. It was very lucrative, but there was also very high stress, because you're always hunting for people to match them up with jobs, and it was just a high stress job. And then I had a family. I started having kids. And then it just shifted everything that I wanted to do. So I didn't want to go to an office anymore. I wanted to do my own thing and have more time for my kids. And so I started thinking, what kind of business can I do? And then I came across a tutu school in Larkspur, and at that time they weren't even franchising yet. So when I saw it, it was just so cute. It was so magical. They had these beautiful tutus on the wall. And then I had just had a daughter. She was like a year old. And I was like, oh, this is the most perfect place for ballet for my little girl. Because I had also done ballet when I was younger. And so, I'd moved to a different city, which is Walnut Creek now, a suburb. And so I figured, I want to bring something kind of cool like this, to Walnut Creek that also has something to do with kids, since that's what I was passionate about at the time. And so I just inquired, and then I opened my first tutu school.
In her first year as an entrepreneur, Tracy quickly realized that learnings come before earnings.
So I opened the first tutu school in 2014. So the first year was really rough because I was still kind of balancing, still having my job, kind of working my way out of my real job, and then opening a new business. It was tough in the sense that, financially, you don't really make money the first year. In fact, it's a loss the first year. In the first year, I lost focus, I think, where I was like trying to make it look pretty. And once I started realizing that I really have to focus on the classes that I was providing, you know, and finding the right people and investing in the people, for me, that's my fulfillment as a boss, is not just to see my business grow, but to see people grow within the business. My biggest investment would be my teachers. You know, I'd rather invest in their training, pay them what they're supposed to be earning, see them grow, see them actually afford to take vacations, you know, and have children and get married and all that. For me, that was the thing that really turned things around.
Commitment, passion, and values will always provide a solid foundation for any business.
What we do best is we really make ballet fun and enjoyable and age appropriate for kids, whatever age they are. So early childhood development is a huge part, if not the biggest part, of our curriculum. We try to make it whimsical. There's a lot of like storytelling, very creative. We don't just count like 1, 2, 3, 4 and tell them what to do. We don't do steps necessarily. We lead activities. We tell kids to like leap over a rainbow, or imagine you're a unicorn galloping across the sky, you know, over clouds, or imagine you're a flower and you're blossoming, you're blooming and your arms are waving through the wind. That really helps the kids. We really want to provide a space where kids can experience the joy of movement. You know, every child must know what it feels like to dance, and that is actually our philosophy at Tutu School in our mission statement.
Always on their toes and never out of step, Tutu School was ready to handle the pandemic.
Out of a lot of businesses, Tutu School did so well. I mean, handled it so well, I feel. Overall, I think 2020 was a challenging year for us, like as with everybody, but literally as soon as 2021 hit, I think we really boomed. That's when our enrollment really shot up, and all of us were so surprised, not just me, but also like the other Tutu School owners, because you really see how that social interaction is so important to kids, because the kids don't understand what a lockdown is, or why do we have to do this? Why do we have to stay inside? Why can't I see my friends? But I think having Tutu School as a source of joy for families was something that I knew was there, but it was really heightened during the pandemic, how this was like the one thing that families absolutely needed to do for their children.
It may take two to tango, but for Tracy and her kid, ballet is all about family.
Oh yeah, JC has always been supportive of anything that I do. You know, I mean, I would just say, I want to do this, I want to open another studio. He's like, sure. I mean, he'll have questions for sure. And a lot of times his questions are actually very interesting because he's coming from a different industry altogether. His life experience is completely different from mine. So when he asks a question, sometimes I'm like, where's that coming from? But then sometimes it's like, I never thought about it. So it's actually a really, really good balance. But yeah, he always supports me. My mom comes and she helps me out. She still lives in Davao in the Philippines, but she comes over here. You know, she helps me out with all the recitals, you know, and just managing and carrying boxes and lifting stuff. And it's now that I realize that a lot of a reason that I am here today is because of my mom. And I see her, she really was a very successful businesswoman, and it's just amazing. And now that I see my daughter helping me out, I just hope that, you know, in a subconscious kind of way, she sees her mom working really hard, and in whatever she does, I hope, you know, it'll inspire her.
After 8 years, Tracy now has a solid grasp of what it takes to become the successful entrepreneur that she is.
Honestly, I have to say that my experience in a very like high-stress, cutthroat environment, doing sales for like 11 years, has really helped me. I think that business side of me really helped me do this. After 2 or 3 locations, I said no more, and then here I am. So I am still opening a couple more locations in Southern California just because I decided that I would. in as much as I want to say that's it, it's really hard to say. When you become a businessman or entrepreneur or businesswoman, you can't put a limit to yourself because everything is an opportunity. Like everywhere I go, I'm like, oh, I can put a tutu school there. I can put a tutu school there. Or, you know, I hear about this like booming market. Oh, we can open something there. And I think what's nice about, you know, being where I am now is that I don't really put a limit to myself, you know, not just in terms of business, just even in terms of life. When you attain a goal, your dreams become even bigger. They go even higher. We have people who inquire about opening a tutu school franchise, you know, somewhere else in the state or somewhere else in the country, and they do come to me and other owners, you know, asking questions about like, you know, finances or what do you need. You need to know how to run a business. It's not, because there are a lot of people who obviously know how to dance and they've been dance instructors and they say, oh, I'm a dance instructor, I can open a business. Not necessarily. You really need to have grit and determination. It may be like a beautiful service and product and we're doing magical things on a daily basis with these kids, but you have to remember that you still need a lot of grit and determination. And I can say that.
JC, thank you and Tracy for allowing us to come here and feature your story.
Yeah, well, thank you as well, because without your real estate help, none of this would have been possible. So.
Yeah. Well, we definitely need to get together more often.
Yes.
We'd like to have you on the show again for something. We'll see what that is, right?
Let's see.
Yeah, we'll see. So if you have any questions you would like to ask us, give us a call at 888-860-9530, or you can visit us online.
Or go to our website po and schedule yourself for a free consultation with either Robert or Ning, or visit our Facebook page, Get Real with Rob and Ning.
That's right. And so again, thank you, JC.
Thank you, JC
You
and
are-
Tracy.
You are
And Tracy.
very
Tell Tracy thank you.
from the ACs. That's what people call it. The ACs. So
the
tacky.
ACs. I like it.
I can't believe I just said that on here.
Thanks again, JC.
Thank
Tacky.
you.
Until next time,
Bye.
bye.
Use the QR code on your screen to ask about no upfront cost solar. Or text the keyword Rob and Ning to 888-807-1119.